Welcome to Defending Digital. Today, I'd like to share with you tips from the book, The Basics of Cyber Safety, Computer and Mobile Device Safety Made Easy by John Sammons and Michael Cross. The book decently covers a range of cyber safety topics, including security and privacy aspects of the internet, social media, computers, and phones. There's also a chapter on protecting children online. It doesn't go into a lot of detail, but does include many specific recommendations of practices, software, and websites. This isn't one of the best books I've read on the subject, but it has some information and advice that other books lack. Some of the info is dated, and several links are broken. In the blog post that goes along with this episode, I've corrected those links or left them out. And there are many links that will be mentioned, so you can go to defendingdigital.com and find them there. Now I'll go through the notes that I took as I read each chapter. From the chapter, Before Connecting to the Internet. Password crackers are not fooled by replacing letters with symbols. For example, the word password, where instead of an A, you put an @ symbol, or instead of the S, you put dollar signs. You can test password strength with the online domain tool's password checker. From the chapter, Software Problems and Solutions. Free antivirus can be as good as paid. Companies that offer free versions make money from paid versions. Some free antivirus or anti-malware software that works on Windows, Mac, and Android would be AVG and Avast. Paid antivirus and anti-malware options include McAfee for Windows, Mac, and Android, Panda for Windows, Mac, and Android, and Symantec for Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android. From the chapter Protecting Your Reputation, a few VPN providers, Private Internet Access, TorGuard, and CyberGhost. To overwrite deleted data or completely wipe a drive. If you're in Windows, you can open the command prompt and type cipher, CIPHER, /W:, and then the drive letter and optionally a folder name. For example, if you want to overwrite the D drive, /data, so the data folder on the D drive, you would type cipher /W:, D, /data. And press enter. And this is going to be more clear in text, so you can go to defendingdigital.com and find the blog post and see it written out right there. You can also use CCleaner, which is free software. How to react to a data breach. 1. Change your password. 2. Set up multi-factor authentication, if possible. 3. Contact the appropriate authorities, the financial institution, breached site, police, federal authorities, etc. 4. If credit or debit card numbers were affected, request new cards. 5. Scan your device for malware. 6. Install all software updates. 7. Check your email rules and filters to ensure that your email isn't being forwarded. 8. Deauthorize third-party apps that have access to the compromised account. And 9. If the breach involved financial information, carefully check your statements and credit reports. Consider freezing your credit. From the chapter Beyond Technology, Dealing with People. How to meet in person someone that you met online. Meet in a public place with many people. Tell friends or family who, when, and where you're meeting. Tell them when you're home safe. Keep your phone with you. Don't drink open drinks. How to do a simple background check. Compare what the person says online to their online profiles. Do an image search on the person's photo using Google Images. From the chapter Protecting Your Kids. Your rules for your kids should be a combination of 1. Supervision, where you oversee, regulate, and help direct their online activity. 2. Education, where you teach them proper online behavior and the prevention and solutions to various potential problems. And 3. Tools, software, hardware, and settings that limit risks and allow you to monitor their online activity. A kid-friendly password generator is DinoPass. You can enable safe search in search engines such as Google and Bing. Some kid-friendly search engines are KidRex and KidsSearch. Popular parental control software includes NetNanny, CyberSitter, WebWatcher, and Guardian. And again, you can find all of these links in the blog post that goes along with this episode at defendingdigital.com. You can configure family safety controls if you're a Windows user. If your phone is stolen and you're able to track it, inform the police. Don't try to recover it yourself. Rules for kids. Use secure passwords. Don't reveal your passwords. Don't share personal information online, things like your address, school name, current or future location, phone number, birth date, age, etc. Don't blindly accept that a person is who they claim to be. Don't visit disallowed sites, and you as the parent will need to define what these disallowed sites are. Never agree to meet in person without your parent's permission. You as the parent should occasionally review your child's friend or contact list. Signs that your child is at risk from online predators. The child possesses child porn of themselves or of other kids. The child receives mail from someone that you don't know. The child has phone sex. The child discusses sex when talking on video games, video chat, etc. The child becomes withdrawn from family and friends. If your child is contacted by a sexual predator, report it to the local police, as well as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, if you're in the US, or the Canadian Center for Child Protection, if you're in Canada. If you use parental controls or other monitoring software, tell your child that you have the ability to see and limit what they're doing online. Tell them it's not necessarily because you don't trust them, but to help them if they encounter problems, and to protect them from seeing disturbing content, and to lower the risk of their getting malware. Tell them that you're willing to discuss those restrictions. Tell your child that you have the right to review their technology and accounts. Remind your child that others can monitor their online activity, such as schools and libraries where they use the internet. Help your child configure privacy settings on all their accounts, and remind them not to put personal information in their profiles. If you found this summary helpful, then I recommend that you read the book itself. The title is The Basics of Cyber Safety, Computer and Mobile Device Safety Made Easy, and the authors are John Sammons and Michael Cross. You can find a link to that at the blog post that goes along with this episode at defendingdigital.com. You can also find the resources page at defendingdigital.com/resources with several other books about cyber safety and computer security. So what should you do? Here are the top tips I've selected from this book. 1. In passwords, don't simply replace letters with symbols, such as password where you're swapping the O for a zero or the S's for dollar signs. That does not fool password crackers. 2. To securely delete data or to wipe a drive, use the cipher command in Windows or use the software CCleaner. 3. When you're affected by a data breach, take the steps that I read through earlier in this podcast. 4. When you want to meet in person someone that you met online, tell your friends or family who, when, and where you're meeting, and meet them in a public place. 5. Your rules for how your kids use the internet should be a combination of supervision, education, and tools. 6. Consider parental controls such as Net Nanny and Family Safety, which is included in Windows. 7. Teach your kids how to be safe online. You can see the tips that I shared earlier. 8. Watch for signs that your child is at risk from online predators. If you notice the signs, talk to your child and investigate. 9. If your child is contacted by a sexual predator, report it to the local police and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, if you're in the US, or the Canadian Center for Child Protection, if you're in Canada. 10. Tell your kids what parental controls and monitoring you have in place. Explain the reasons, and tell them that you're looking out for their good. And 11. Remind your kids that their online activity can be monitored by schools, libraries, and others. You can learn more about this book as well as other books on digital security and privacy at defendingdigital.com. So I'd love it if you would take a minute to leave a rating and review in whatever app or site that you're using to listen to this podcast. I'd also appreciate it if you would find a friend who is interested in internet safety and security and tell them about the podcast too. Thanks.